Welcome to today's First Chesapeake Chats, sponsored by Newport News Shipbuilding Session. I am Lizzie Nguyen, a First Chesapeake FTC and FRC alumna, and an alumni ambassador sponsored by Booz Allen Hamilton, and I'm here to introduce the First Chesapeake Chats. I would like to thank today's session sponsor, Newport News Shipbuilding, for making this chat possible. Just some housekeeping, we will let the speaker present and then open up the discussion for questions later on if there is time. Feel free to put questions in the comments throughout the chat and we will try to get to them all. A quick reminder, the volunteer registration system is open for volunteers with our first FRC district event of the season in just 2 weeks. We again have remote roles available, like Judge, making it easy to support our STEM community. Please visit our volunteer webpage at www.firstchesapeake.org/volunteer for instructions and links to register. Newport News Shipbuilding is looking to hire recent high school grads and high school seniors. No experience is required. See more details on the First Chesapeake Alumni Job Postings webpage. So with that said, let's get started. Today we are going to discuss what to expect, First Robotic Competition Awards, interviews, and district points. At this time, I would like to introduce our speaker, the wonderful Joe Bouchard, who is the First Chesapeake Head Judge Advisor. We're so glad to have you today, Joe, and I will now turn it over to you for your presentation.
Okay, thank you, Lizzie. And if I could have, there we go, my presentation. I have some slides to summarize what I'm going to present tonight. And with no further ado, I will launch into my presentation. The first thing I want to emphasize is everything you need to know is in the game manual. The game manual is available in the FRC resources page. The link is there. If you don't have it, real quick, take a screenshot of that link and download it. The game manual actually has more details in it than the judge manual that the judges use. So it's the key resource you need to prepare for the season, and study it carefully. There are two categories of awards. The first is Team Attribute Awards, which the team earns through their performance as a team. Now, I'm not going to go through and describe each one of these. You can find the descriptions in the game manual I just showed you. One thing I do want to point out is that there are two rookie awards. To be eligible for those awards, your team number needs to be 8,500 or higher. Basically, the teams that were rookies in 2020, 2021, or now in 2022. The other category of awards are the Machine Creativity and Innovation Awards. There are 6 of them. And again, I'm not going to go through and describe all of these awards. The descriptions are in the game manual. They're also on the resources page. If you go to the resources library, you can find descriptions of all the awards there. So you have 2 places you can go to find them. It is necessary to submit documents for some of the awards. The 2 documents you can still submit are the Summary Business Plan for the Entrepreneurship Award, and you're allowed to submit a 2-page PDF with additional information on your team. Those you will upload to the First Chesapeake Dropbox. Ron will send mentors links to specific folders for uploading those items. The game manual will probably try to send you somewhere else. Ignore that. To simplify things for the teams, we decided to just have you upload everything to Dropbox, and Ron will send you the links. The only 2 exceptions to that are the Dean's List Award and the Chairman's Award. Now, the deadlines for those two awards have already expired. So if you didn't submit your documents already, it's too late. How the judging works. Each weekend, an event consists of day one and day two on Saturday and Sunday. They are separate for the match play, but for the judged awards, the 2 days are judged together. All 36 teams are judged together. We will be doing remote interviews on Zoom. We create a breakout room for each team identified by the team number. The judging schedule will be posted on the First Chesapeake Events website. You only have to be in your breakout room during the period of your interview. You can go there early if you like. A lot of teams like to do that, go to their breakout room and make final preparations. The judges will come to you. At the designated time for your interview to start, the judges will go to you. They last 25 minutes. You may start with a presentation up to 10 minutes. Now, that's optional. You don't have to do it, but I encourage you to. That gives you a chance to highlight what you want judges to know about your team and what you want judges to know about your robot. The remaining 15 minutes is for the judges to ask you questions. Once the interview is done, the judges leave your breakout room and the team can leave whenever you want. After all the interviews are complete, the judges start ranking teams for each award. Chairman's Award, if you submitted for that, first of all, the deadline has expired. Interviews are held remotely. The schedule will be posted on the First Chesapeake's event website. The judges will review the documents you submitted prior to the interview. That's your executive summary, essay, and if you submitted it, additional information about your team. The judges do not review your Chairman's Award video. That's for the award ceremony. That's not part of the judging for the Chairman's Award. Interviews last 12 minutes. You have up to 7 minutes to give a presentation to the judges. You can screen share slides if you want. You may show a video if you want. The remaining 5 minutes are for the judges to ask you questions. You can have a maximum of 3 students in the breakout room for the interview. And you must have 1 adult, 1 mentor in the room with you. There is a feedback form. The judges will fill that out and it will be emailed to your mentor. Dean's List. A mentor can nominate up to 2 team members for the Dean's List. The judges review the nomination forms and the supporting essays submitted with it prior to the interviews. One key point, a signed consent and release form must have been submitted or you don't get interviewed. You're not eligible for the award unless you've submitted the first consent and release form, so don't forget it. Interviews are held remotely. Schedules on the First Chesapeake Events website. They last about 6 to 10 minutes. Each student nominated is interviewed separately, and there must be an adult present in the interview. The students selected to be semifinalists at each event are announced at the award ceremony. A couple of quirks about eligibility for awards. 3 awards are called cultural awards because of their importance, their significance. That's the Chairman's Award, the Engineering Inspiration Award, and the Rookie All-Star Award. Teams can only win these once a season at the qualifying event level. They can win it again at the district championship or the first championship. Another one is the Hall of Fame. If you won the Chairman's Award at the first championship, you're a member of the Hall of Fame and you can't win it again for 5 years. This season, there are no Chesapeake teams in the Hall of Fame. Advancement to the district championship. We can have 60 teams based on the number of teams competing in our district. We can have 60 teams at the championship. There are 4 ways you can qualify. You win the chairman's award, your district ranking points, and I'll show you that on the next slide. Winning the District Engineering Inspiration Award qualifies you to compete for that award at the district championship. And the district rookie all-star winner gets to go to the district championship to compete for that award at the district level. If a team eligible for the championship declines, we don't leave an empty slot. The next highest team that did not make the initial cut gets invited until all 60 teams are filled. There's a point system for the district ranking. It's a little bit complicated. This comes right out of the game manual that I pointed out to you. So you can read it in there. The key point is you earn points for your match performance, the performance of your robot in matches, and you win points for the judged awards, which awards you win. Rookie teams get extra points, and if your team in your first event of the season, you compete in match play both days in one weekend, you get a few extra points for that too. This concludes my presentation, and I will now open it up to questions. No questions in chat yet.
Okay, so since we don't have any questions, all right, so this comes from actually one of our audience members, and they asked, when can we expect to see judging schedules for March 5th and 6th competitions?
Probably, my guess would be by the 3rd. That depends on, well, a lot of things, but we try and get them posted as early as possible, but I'm sure they'll be posted by the 3rd. It gets complicated because if a team is competing both days, we have to coordinate when they get interviewed for judging with the timing of their match play. And some teams have considerations like they're going to be traveling and not available for judging, or there are restrictions on when they can gather to be in their breakout room for judging. And teams share that with Ron, who writes the schedule continuously. So it takes a little while to put the schedule together because we really do try to accommodate teams as much as we can and to be fair to everybody as much as we can.
Okay, and I guess the follow-up question to that is, during their interview, will judges for team attributes and machine creativity and innovation be present?
Yes, there will be at least two, maybe more, but at least 2 team attribute judges and 2 MCI judges. So when your team is interviewed, there will be at least 4 judges in your breakout room. And there may be more, but at least 4.
The next question is, what criteria or how is the engineering inspiration judged, and when does that happen?
It's judged at the same time as all the other awards. In the interview, the judges will be asking you questions to help determine your eligibility for it. The criteria are in the game manual. uh, and it's fairly straightforward, but that is a very important award. It's the second highest award, second only to chairman's. And the judges are going to be looking for a team that really shows excellence in uh, the design process and in the team members' grasp of, you know, good engineering design, good engineering practices. Uh, and so it's not just uh, the details of how the robot was built, it's how the team as a whole grasps uh, the importance of mastering the engineering design process.
The next question in the chat asks, is the two-page submission for both TA and MCI, or can it be one or the other?
Um, you only get to submit the additional information once. It's 2 pages, a PDF. The details are in the game manual. You can address whatever you want in there. If there is a particular award that you really want to win, you can focus on that award, or you can use it to, in broader terms, describe your team and include key points that would help the judges determine your eligibility for one of the TA awards and describe your robot and how it was designed to help judges determine your eligibility for one of the MCI awards. Uh, how how you divide up the space, what you put in it, is totally up to you. Uh, but follow the guidance in the game manual. It can only be 2 pages, and you have to save it as a PDF before you upload it. Oh, and one key point: uh, always put your team number in the file name. Okay. If your team number is not in the file name, we have no idea who submitted it, and it could end up lost in space.
So my question for you, Joe, is do you have any advice for rookie teams, especially if this is their first time applying for an award or their first time competing at all?
Um, well, my first piece of advice is have fun, enjoy the event. Okay. This is not supposed to be grueling. The interviews are not an interrogation. The judges really do try to help the students feel at ease and uh, have self confidence during the interview. Uh, I do recommend uh, compete for the awards. Maybe not all of them, but take a good look at the Rookie All Star Award and the Rookie Inspiration Award. If you're a rookie team, those two are made for you. And assess your team's strengths and weaknesses, and same thing for your robot. Assess what is unique about it, and if there are particular awards you want to compete for that you think you're competitive for, go for it. Don't worry that you're a rookie team. Uh, Rookie teams can do very well in the competition and win awards. So the fact that you're a rookie team is not doesn't automatically make you non-competitive. It's all a question of your focus and how hard you work and how well you can convey to the judges what a great team you are.
Thank you so much for your advice. And so for another question from the chat. So if a team is competing in two events for a second event, will they have to submit a different two-page document, business plan, etc.?
No. Uh, teams are allowed to compete in 2 events, and you can use the same business plan. You can use the same 2-page additional information document for both. Uh, you can also change them. If you take a look at it after your first event and decide, I could make this better, change it. We don't save them. We don't compare them from one event to the other. We only look at what you present to us at the event. So, yes, you can use the same, you can use the same documents, but you can change them if you want. Totally up to you.
How will chairman's judging be conducted at the district championship?
Uh, it will be remote and pretty much the same way I described it. Uh, the No, I take it back. At the district championship, at this point, the judging is going to be in person, not remote. Okay. Uh, the schedule will be posted, but probably not on the First Chesapeake Events website. You'll get the schedule of chairman's interviews at the event. And that's one big difference. At the district championship, at this point, given the trends with COVID and what we know of the policies of the school districts, it looks like in-person judging will be possible, and that is much preferable for both teams and judges. So plan on in-person interviews. Again, the game manual describes very well how chairman's interviews are scheduled. There will be a room set aside for it. The judges will be in there. You'll be given your assigned time. The schedule will be posted at Pit Admin, so you can get your interview on time.
Will Dean's List interviews necessarily be on the same weekend as the team competes, or can they be on different weekends?
That's a good question. Normally it's on the same weekend, but if you have a problem with that for some reason, by all means, let us know. What we do is we try to coordinate Dean's List interviews with team interviews, with match play, with chairman's interviews. It's not unusual for a student nominated for Dean's List to be one of the Chairman's Award students presenting to the judges. So we really do try, and pretty well, to coordinate all those. Okay. So the Dean's List students won't have a problem getting to their interview because they're tied up with something else. Now, if for some reason the one or both of the students nominated for Dean's List just can't be available, let us know, and we will find a way to accommodate that student.
Actually, I have a question about the award specifically. What does the team have to do to be eligible for the Entrepreneurship Award?
The key thing is they have to submit a summary business plan. And again, the game manual tells you what has to be in it. And the judges take a look at that and they compare all the submissions, which, by the way, if you don't submit one, you're not eligible. The judges won't consider you. But then after the judges have reviewed all the summary business plans in the interview, they're going to ask the team questions about it to make sure the team understands it. And it is something that all the team members should be conversant on, because that summary business plan is really what's guiding the way your team operates during a season, where you get funding from, what your priorities are, what your overall team plan is to win the district championship. So that's something the whole team should understand. So it's a combination of uh, how well you explain all that in the summary business plan and how well in the interview, the team interview, students can show their understanding of the plan.
So, do you have any advice for teams who want to prepare for their interview? It can be super nerve-wracking to be speaking in front of judges, especially if it's their first time. So, what constitutes a good interview, and how do teams and mentors prepare for that?
Um, a few things about a good interview. First of all, rehearse. Uh, get adults other than the mentors in the room with you to uh, play the role of judges. Uh, the mentors should prepare those adults with questions based on uh, the awards. And that's easy. If nothing else, just give them a list of the awards and the award descriptions, which are available in the resource uh, library, and ask the adults, and you only need two, one for MCI and one for TA. If you can get more adults than that, that's better. If you can get four, that's great, because that'll look a lot like a real interview. And rehearse it. I do recommend, if you can, have a prepared presentation. Okay. You're allowed the first 10 minutes to give a presentation. That is invaluable because it gives you a chance to tell the judges what you want them to know about your team, to convey information that they may not have asked in their questions. But you have to use every second of those 10 minutes effectively. Write a script, or start with an outline, write a script, an a prepared presentation is better the more students get to speak up. But rehearse it, and rehearse the transition from one student to the next. You don't want to waste time trying to figure out who's speaking next, because that just takes away from your 10 minutes. And as I mentioned, every second is invaluable. So outline your presentation, write a script for it, rehearse it. Try and involve as many of your team members as you can, because that impresses the judges. And a good presentation is really going to have a lot of impact on how the judges feel about your team and your eligibility for awards.
Okay, that's about all the time that we have for questions today. I would like to firstly thank you, Joe, for being with us today, and thank you to our audience members for your engaging questions. Please stay tuned for the next chat, which is what is pre-inspection and why it is essential, which starts in just a few minutes. And we would also like to thank again our first Chesapeake Chat sponsor, Newport News Shipbuilding, for their generous support of this program and our 2022 First Chesapeake District Championship. Please enjoy this short video about them.
Bye, everyone.